morning, everyone. So today we'll talk about transport and Burgers equations mainly. So before that, we'll see like what is the first order quasi-linear PDE's existence and uniqueness theorem, which we covered in last class. So the last class we have seen what is the existence and uniqueness theorem for first order quasi-linear PDEs. So what is the first order quasi-linear PDE? Is A of x comma y comma u into x plus B of x comma y comma u into uy equal to C of x comma y comma u. Okay, this is the first order quasi-linear PDE. So then this theorem is giving the for the first order quasi-linear PDE, it is giving the conditions for existence and uniqueness. So if this omega is subset of R cube, okay, and we have A comma B comma C, okay, belongs to C1 of omega, and some initial condition is given. That initial data is something like we have something like gamma. So the gamma is nothing but x equal to x of s, x naught of s, y equal to y naught of s, and u equal to u naught of s. As an initial smooth curve is given. Then the the condition is that what is given is that dx naught by ds, okay, dx naught by ds into v, okay, corresponding to the uy coefficient b, okay, b of x comma y comma b of x naught comma y naught comma is a u naught, okay, b of x naught comma x naught of s comma y naught of s comma u naught of s, okay, minus dy naught by ds. Okay, dy naught by ds into a. So this corresponds to this coefficient. Okay, a of x naught of s, okay, comma u naught of s. So this is given. So this is not equal to 0. This condition usually called as P of s. Okay, the transversality condition will say. See that the remarks. Okay, so this is the conditions given. Then what this theorem is guaranteeing is that there exists a unique solution. Okay, there exists at most one solution. U of x comma y defined on the neighborhood of this initial curve. Okay, the initial curve is given that x naught of s, y naught of s is u naught of s. So in that neighborhood, okay, the quasi-linear PDE has a unique solution. Okay, there is at most one solution. There is a solution at most one solution. Okay, from the initial, and that satisfies the initial conditions also. So now the remark. So what this theorem is saying is that, so this condition, what is it saying is that we have when the theta curve is not tangential. Okay, so this is trying to say me that when the theta curve is not tangential to the characteristic curve. Okay, when the theta curve is not tangential to the characteristic curve. Okay, it is not tangential to the characteristic curve, and the functions are in C1 of omega. Then what this theorem is guaranteeing is that it is guaranteeing the existence and uniqueness. Okay, so this is the theorem is roughly this. Okay, this is the outline of the theorem. In the physical interpretation. So this condition, as I mentioned, P of s is nothing but the transversality condition. Okay, it is called transversality condition. So this condition, the geometrical interpretation of this condition is that what is it saying is that the projection of the characteristic curve, okay, the projection of the characteristic curves on the xy plane, okay, on the xy plane, passing through the point, okay, passing through the point x naught comma x naught of s comma y naught of s comma u naught of s, okay, intersects where it intersects. It intersects the projection of the initial curve. So the gamma is the initial curve, okay, that is projected. So that's projection of the initial curve, gamma, and it intersection is nothing but it is in the non-tangential way. So it is not tangentially intersecting, it is non-tangentially intersecting. Okay, that is the again repeating the same thing. The first point and third point are almost same. Okay, it is saying like non-tangential intersection is that. Okay, non-tangential characteristic curve. The curve is okay, non-tangential to the characteristic. Okay, the solution is what will happen if this condition fails? Suppose this transversality condition is failed, then what will happen? Let's see. In this case, what will have is that neither existence nor uniqueness is guaranteed. Okay, let us see this using a simple example. Okay, the example, let us see. So what is given here is as follows. So you have a problem like yux minus xuy equal to 0. Okay, this is the problem. Okay, now gamma is given. Gamma is nothing but gamma is given as x naught x equal to s, y equal to 0. Okay, and u equal to s square. This is given. Okay, so this is nothing but my gamma. Means x equal to x naught of s equal to s, y equal to y naught of s equal to s, and u equal to s square. Okay, and that initial smooth curve. Now what we need to show is that this has a circular parabola and it has the unique solution. Okay, that two things we got to see. So what is the characteristic equation or characteristic system that we have to find? So what is the characteristic system? We can write that as dx by dt equal to y. Okay, and dy by dt equal to minus x. Okay, this is coefficient of this, and du by dt equal to 0. Okay, because right hand side is 0. So this one implies that from here you can imply that u is constant. Okay, from here you can imply that we'll see that here you can see that. Okay, so here you can see that something dx by dt and dy by dt is there. So from these two together, what you can say is that dy by dx, okay, dy by dx equal to minus x by y. Okay, so which implies that y am I correct? dy by dx, yeah, y dy, okay, y dy plus x dx equal to 0. Okay, so this implies that y square plus x square equal to c. Okay, or we can write x square plus y square equal to c. Okay, now it is given that u equal to c. Okay, so what you can say is that u is going to be a function of, okay, this is going to be a function of something. So function of x square plus y square is going to come. Okay, u is going to be a function of x square plus y square is going to come. Now, okay, so this is the curve which we are getting. This is the characteristic curve. So you can see that x square plus y square equal to c. So that characteristic curve is nothing but a family of circles passing through, center at origin. Okay, the family of circle. Okay, it's a different radius. Okay, that's a family of circle we are going to get. So the general solution is u is equal to f of x square plus y square is going to come. Now, what is given? It is given that x equal to s, y equal to s, and u equal to s square is given. So we have to see whether it passes through that. Okay. So in that case, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to find what is corresponding things over here. Okay. So what will happen here? So x equal to s, y equal to s, and u equal to s square. That means this I can write it as u equal to x square. I can write. Okay. So that means what I have is my initial smooth curve is nothing but u equal to x square. Okay, ux square and y equal to 0. This is my initial smooth curve. Okay, so that means u equal to x square means it is a parabola in the xu plane. Okay, in the xu plane it is a parabola. Okay, that is the thing which is true. Now let us check the transversality condition. What is the transversality condition? Is saying T of s equal to, okay, dx naught by ds into b naught b, okay, b of x naught y naught comma u naught minus dy naught by ds into a is going to come. So what is dx naught by ds? X is equal to s. Therefore, dx naught by ds is 1. Okay. And b, what is b? B is nothing but minus x. But what is x? X is nothing but s. So I am going to get minus s minus dy naught by ds. Y is 0. Therefore, dy naught is 0. Okay. Into a is nothing but again 0. So what I am going to get is I am going to minus s. So this is not equal to 0. Okay. This is not simultaneously 0. It is not equal to 0. Therefore, what we are going to get is that T of s is not equal to 0. That means by the existence of uniqueness theorem, what you are going to get is that you are going to get a unique solution for this problem. Let's see whether we are going to get the unique solutions or not. So let's substitute over here. Okay, we know what is s and this condition will substitute. Okay, this is going to be constant everywhere. So I'm just going to substitute that on, okay, on gamma, what I'm going to get, okay, on gamma, what we are going to get. So let's see u. So u is nothing but on gamma it is going to be s square. Okay, and here this is nothing but f of what is x? X is nothing but s square, and what is y? Y is nothing but 0. Okay, 0 square. So this is nothing but f of s square. So that means what is my f? F is nothing but an identity function. Okay, f is nothing but an identity function. Therefore, what we are getting is that u is going to be x square plus y square only. Okay, u is nothing but x square plus y square only. So what is this curve? This is going to be the paraboloid. Okay, circular paraboloid. U equal to x square plus y square is a circular paraboloid. So if you change the u depending on that, so what you will get is you will get a paraboloid. So small circles you will get, and at the end you will see like when x square plus y square equal to 0, you will get 1 point. When x square plus y square equal to half, you will get a little bit circle. Okay, so when x square plus y square equal to x and y are 0, okay, what you will get is you will get a point. Okay, then what you get, you will get a circle. Then you will get a bigger circle, bigger circle, bigger circle, like this. So you will get some kind of paraboloid. You will get it. Okay, so this is the one which you are going to get. Okay, so circular paraboloid. Okay. Now we will see the second one. Okay, the same thing. Okay, the same thing. What I am going to change is that I am going to change simple thing. One is only the condition I am going to change. Okay, so these are all going to be same. Okay, so I'm just going to erase out everything. Only I'm just going to keep this one. Okay, so these are all, these setups are same. Only problem, only place where we will apply this condition is that one is this one, another is this place. Okay, only these two cases. So I'm just going to keep, I'm just going to erase the rest of things. I'm just going to keep only this one. Okay, u of x squared plus. So the general, the equation is u is equal to f of x squared plus y squared. This is going to be my general solution. Then we are going to check whether we are going to get a existence or okay. Now I change this condition. Okay. Now instead of this one, what I'm going to change is that I'm going to change x equal to s, y equal to 0 is equal to s square. Instead of that, I'm going to put it like cos s, okay, sin s, and again sin s. Okay. Therefore, what is this one? This is going to be u is equal to y. Okay. This is going to be u equal to y. Now, whether we will check whether we are going to get the transversality condition or not. Okay. Let's check that. So what is dx naught by ds now? Dx naught by ds is nothing but, this is nothing but cos s. So I'm going to get minus sin s, okay, into b. What is b? B is nothing but minus x, okay. B is nothing but minus x. But what is x? X is nothing but cos s. So I'm going to get one more minus. So this will become plus into cos s, okay, minus what is dy naught by ds? Dy naught is nothing, y naught is sin s. So dy naught is cos s, okay, into a is nothing but y, so y is nothing but again sin s, okay, so into sin s. That means both are same, so we are going to get 0. Okay, therefore what we are going to get is that you are not the existence of uniqueness is not guaranteed. Let us check that whether it is going to satisfy. Now if we substitute over here, okay, so if I just substitute what is f of x square plus y square, what is f of x square plus y square and this square, what I am going to get is that f of cos square s plus sin square s. Okay, what is that? That is nothing but f of 1. Okay, therefore u is equal to f of 1 is going to come. That means it is a constant value. Whereas what we have is that u equal to y. Okay, so u is equal to f of 1 equal to y. So this is not possible. Okay, this is not possible. Therefore it is a contradiction. Okay, we are getting a contradiction because I assume that u is equal to f of 1. This is a constant, but according to this condition, u will be equal to y. So these conditions will not be satisfying simultaneously. These two conditions cannot be satisfied simultaneously. Therefore, no solutions exist. Okay. So this is an example. Why this is not existing? Because your transversality condition is failing. That's the reason it is getting failed. Okay. Now again, I'll just change that. Okay. Instead of the same thing. Okay. Instead of the same thing, what I'm going to change is that I'm just going to change instead of sin s. What I'm going to keep it is that I'm going to keep it 1. Okay, I'm just going to keep it as 1. Now again same thing. Okay, dx naught by ds is going to be cos s and dy naught ds is going to be, so this sin s cos s and everything is going to come. Again it is going to be 0 because here u is not going to play any role, so it is going to be 0. Now let us see again. So what is f of x square plus y square? Okay, f of x square plus y square is nothing but f of cos square s plus sin square s, okay, equal to f of 1. Okay, it is already given that u is equal to 1. Okay, therefore this is equal to f of 1. Now how many such functions will be existing? F of 1 equal to 1. So in that case there are plenty of functions you can say. For example, you can see this function like f of omega equal to omega power n. Okay, whenever this omega is taken to omega power n, those functions are like plenty, many such functions you can take where n is the nth root of n. That means like you have infinitely many solutions will be obtained in this case because you have many functions which is satisfying this condition. So you will get many such functions where f of 1 equal to 1 is going to be satisfied. Therefore, it is not going to be a unique solution. You will get infinitely many solutions will be existing. Okay. So this is again one more exercise which I got. So existence and uniqueness. So consider if you consider the PDE, okay, you say Ux equal to Cu. What you need to check is that for the given Cauchy data, U of x, 0 equal to what you need to see is whether this has a unique solution or infinitely many solutions. That you need to check. Okay, if you check it, okay, fine. Now we'll come to next one. So the next one is transport equation. Okay, so what is a transport equation? Let us see. Before that, I would like to tell a story. That story is, I hope you know the story of ant and dove. Okay, ant and dove. You might have heard in your childhood. So the same story I'm just going to say, and then you are trying to see the transport equation. Okay, let me show you that video. So this is the ant story. Okay, just see here. So you can see this one. Okay. So an ant is going to fall down in the river. Okay, it's fall down, and then it is going along the river. Okay, and the dove is coming with a leaf, and then it is saving the. It is trying to save the ant. Okay, so this is the story which you might have heard in your childhood. Okay, and then so this is going to give a picture of like a transport equation and some related theory regarding that. So we'll come to that. Okay, so let's derive that equation now. So now what is the equation? We'll see. Okay, so let's see that. What is the transport equation? Let us see. Okay, so the transport equation is this is of this form ut plus cux, which we have seen already. Okay, which we have seen already. Ut plus cux, the constant coefficients we have seen. So that is nothing but the transport equation. So if you put some f also, we can just say like homogeneous equation. So now let us derive that equation. So what we have seen is that there is a stream of flow. Okay, water is flowing, and the ant was falling down here. Okay, and ant was falling down here. And then this was going along the stream. Okay, this is going along the stream. So after a certain time, we have seen that it is going here and then it was reaching here. Okay, this is going along the stream. So the water is flowing this direction. Okay, this is going this direction. So therefore, the ant is moving along the stream. Now, the same kind of things you can see in case of some water where something like flowing and you will get some kind of pollutant, like the river is damaged. You can see in India many of the rivers get polluted, or many air pollution, everything is many things are there. So those are kind of transportation is going to happen, like some particles or some molecules or some sawdust is going to transfer along that river line or along the stream of the wind. Okay, so these are all things we can see. So now we'll just take a simple thing. So you take a thin tube, okay, thin tube where the water is flowing. Okay, it is flowing at a constant speed. Let's say the speed is c. Okay, constant speed is c. Now what I'm going to denote is that I'm going to denote. So suppose this is my, okay, this is I'm just denoting it as x. Okay, I'm just denoting this as x. Okay, I'm just denoting this as x and this as t, for example. Then I'm just going to denote something over here. Okay, so what I'm going to denote is that, like suppose I have some x's over here, so I have something here. So this is, let's say, x comma t. Okay, I'm going to denote u of x comma t. Okay, u of x comma t. What I'm going to denote is that u of x comma t is nothing but, okay, u of x comma t is going to tell me what is the pollutant is going to happen. Okay, so I have something like, I have a thin tube. In that thin tube, the water is going, okay, the constant speed c. So some pollutant is here. Okay, let's say at this place, okay, at time t, I have some pollutant here. So this is going to travel along after certain time step. Okay, that we are going to see. So now what I am going to say is that u of x comma t is denoting the concentration of the pollutant at this location at the time t. Okay, that is nothing but the u of x comma t. Okay, concentration of the pollutant, concentration of the pollutant at x at time t. Okay, at x and at time t. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to see how much pollutant is there in the interval a comma b. So a comma b is an interval where I'm going to check how much pollutant is going to be there. So u of x comma t is concentration of the pollution x at time t. Therefore, if I'm just considering only the whole interval, what I'm going to take is that at this particular time, okay, at the time t, I'm just going to check what is the pollutant in this whole interval. Then what I can do is that I can just do the integration. Okay, integration a to b u of x comma t is going to tell me, okay, with respect to dx. So dx, is going to tell me the concentration of the pollutant in that interval a comma b. Okay, in that interval a comma b at time t is going to be given. Now this is moving along the time. It is moving along the stream of the flow at a constant speed c. So what it is going to happen is that, let's say, like after some, so this is at t, right? So this is going to be at t. Now suppose I have t plus delta t. I have t plus delta t. What will happen? This is going to, this pollutant, whatever is there, whatever was available here, it will be moving somewhere outside. So for example, this is going to be my new interval, but this is nothing but a plus c into delta t. Means delta t is nothing but the time which is moving. So it is going to move at delta t time. So the displacement is going to take like constant time speed into delta t. Okay, what is displacement? Displacement is nothing but speed, okay, into time. Okay, speed into time. So speed is c and time is this one. So this a is going to shifted over a plus delta c plus delta t, and this b is going to be shifted to b plus c plus b plus c into delta t. Okay. Now I am just assuming that conservation. So whatever was here, whatever was the conservation over here, that is going to move as it is to the new place here. Okay, a plus this place. Okay, a plus c delta t plus b plus c delta t. Okay, this place it is going to be. So whatever was here in the a plus b, it is going to be moving over. That means what I am going to say is that the amount of pollutant, whatever is there in AP, it is going to be same. So therefore, what we will get is that whatever was the pollutant, this location is going to be the same thing. A plus c delta t, okay, b plus c delta t, u of x comma d plus delta t again into dx. Okay, or dt also you can. Sorry, simply d also. Okay. Now let's differentiate this with respect to b. We are going to differentiate with respect to b only. Therefore, a coefficient will become 0. Only b coefficient is going to exist. So what is going to happen? So if I just differentiate with respect to b, what you will get is that you are going to get u of b comma t equal to, here what you are going to get is that u of b plus c into delta t comma d plus delta t is going to come. Okay. Now this interval is arbitrary. Okay, I didn't choose any particular thing, so I'm just choosing this AB arbitrarily. Okay, and we are arbitrary interval. So now, since B is arbitrary, what we can replace is that this B I can replace is like some x, some variable. Okay, some variable I can replace. I'm just going to denote that variable as x. Okay, so this I can replace it like the same case. And what I can rewrite is that this, since B is arbitrary, I'm just going to denote this as u of x comma t and u of b plus c plus delta t plus d comma delta t. Okay, this is the arbitrary case. So from this one you can expect that, so whenever that u of x comma t, so it is moving along that stream, okay, with the constant speed, so you can expect that u of x comma t is moving u of x plus c plus delta t. Okay, c plus delta t times it is moving at the time t plus delta t. So because the delta t is nothing but the speed time and c is nothing but the speed, so therefore that particle is displaced further this direction. Okay, that this is the idea of that. So now what we are trying to do is that we are just trying to find how to get from here. Okay, so we are trying to write this in this way. So u of c plus u of x plus c into delta t, okay, comma t plus delta t minus u of x comma t, okay, equal to 0. Okay, this is equal to 0. Now I'm dividing the whole thing by delta t, okay, and allowing limit delta t tends to 0. Then what is this one? This is nothing but dv of u equal to 0, where v is nothing but c comma 1. Okay, v is nothing but c comma 1. That means it is nothing but v dot del u which you have seen. Okay, so dv equal to 0. Okay, so this is the equation which we have. That is nothing but, what is this one? dv is nothing but c comma 1 into the same thing ux comma ut equal to 0. So that is nothing but ut plus cux equal to 0. That's the thing which we have. Okay, which we write. Okay. Now you know, from the you know, like we have seen how to solve the constant coefficient. Okay, linearity with constant coefficient. So in that case, we have seen that AUX plus BUY equal to 0. Then we have already seen that the solution is going to be A is equal to F of BX minus AY. Okay. Now if you compare this one over here, A is nothing but C. Okay. B is nothing but 1. And Y is nothing but, this is nothing but T. So what it is going to come then? U is equal to F of, okay, B is nothing but 1. So this is going to be X. And A is nothing but C. So X minus C is going to come. Okay. You can just cross check that. If you just find the answer for this one, what you will get is that, see what is UT? UT is nothing but minus C into F of X minus CT. Okay. And what is UX? UX is nothing but F of X minus CT, and already C is there. So C into F of X minus CT is there. So this is going to be the general solution. Okay. This gets cancelled. So this is going to be the general solution. Okay. So this is the transport equation solution. So let's see some simple with some boundary conditions. Okay, the same thing. We'll just see some boundary condition. What is the boundary condition for this problem? Let's see. Okay, let's import some Cauchy data boundary condition. So the boundary condition is that U of x comma 0. Okay, U of x comma 0 is nothing but x if x belongs to 0 comma 1. Okay, 0 if x does not belongs to 0 comma 1. Okay, now what we have to see the answers for this one. So we have seen that U is equal to F of X minus CT is the solution. Okay, now this is constant along that line. So we have to see what is the solutions over here. This is U of X comma T. So U of X comma 0 is nothing but F of X here. Okay, if I substitute over here, T is 0, therefore it is F of X. But what is U of X comma 0? That is nothing but X if X belongs to 0 comma 1. Okay, 0 if X does not belongs to 0 comma 1. Okay, therefore what is U of X comma T? U of X comma T is going to be whatever I have here, I just replace that. Okay, F of whatever I have X here, I am just going to replace that with X minus CT. Okay, F of X minus CT, that is nothing but X minus CT. Okay, if X minus CT belongs to 0 comma 1, 0 if X minus CT does not belongs to 0 comma 1. Okay, so I can rewrite this as equal to X minus CT if X belongs to CT comma CT plus 1. Okay, or 0 if X does not belongs to CT comma CT plus 1. Okay, so I can just draw this graph. Okay, so when X equal to 0, so I have the U curve. Okay, this is X and this is U, let's say. So what is U of X comma 0? It is going to be this one. Okay, X equal to 0. Okay, X equal to 0. Okay, 0 to 1. Now what will happen? That is CT. Okay, so for example, if you take C is equal to 1, so after a certain time, okay, so it will happen. This is going to be X minus CT, so it is going to move over here. Okay, this is going to be the curve. Now after this one, again this is going to, when the C is going to increase, what will happen? So this is going to happen like this. Okay, when the T is increasing, what is it going to happen? The slope is not changing. Okay, the slope is same. The slope is same. So the slope is going to be 1. So it is going to move along here. So from this you can see that whatever is over here, this is transporting. Okay, this is going to transport over the place where we have. Okay, so we'll see that in the graph. So this is the graph. Okay, so X minus CT, this is going in this. Okay, you have X minus CT. So the characteristic, you can see that the characteristics are given by X minus CT equal to X of 0. Okay, we can generalize this idea ut plus Cx equal to 0. So this we have did that for a one-dimensional case. We can generalize this for a general setup. Okay, so the general setup is that we can take it for a n-dimensional space also. So for the n-dimensional space, what I am going to do is that I am just going to write the equation, okay, the transport equation, which is of this form: ut, okay, ut plus b dot du equal to 0. Okay, where b is nothing but, okay, b1, b2, b1. B1, B1, B2, etc. Bn. Okay, where x is nothing but x1, x2, xn, x2, etc. xn. So what is du? Then du is nothing but ux1, ux2, ux3, etc. uxn. Okay, So this is the general setup. Now I give some Cauchy data also. Suppose I have something like u of x comma 0, okay, u of x comma 0 equal to g of x, okay, where x is nothing but this one, n-dimensional variable. Now what we try to do is that we try to see whether we get some solutions for this one. Okay, first we will take only that PDE and we will impose the boundary conditions later. So let's see what is the solution is going to be. Okay, we are trying to solve that u equal to u of x comma t. Now what we are going to do is that fix any point z comma x comma t in r power n cross 0 comma infinity. Fix any point. Then define what we are going to define is that you are going to define a parametric curve, just nothing but this way u of, okay, x plus sb comma t plus s or s plus t, okay, whatever you call it, t plus or s plus t. So what is dz by ds? Okay, what is dz by ds here? Dz by ds is going to be du, okay, du of x plus sb into x plus sb comma t plus s into with respect to x I am differentiating, therefore it is du here, and then I am differentiating with respect to s, therefore you are going to get some dot b is going to come. Okay, dot b is going to come because I am just differentiating with respect to s plus next variable, so ut, okay, of x plus sb comma t plus s into here t s is having only one as the constant, so okay, so that means what we got is that we got almost same thing, ut plus du into b, okay, but that is nothing but 0, okay, that is nothing but 0. Therefore what we got is that z is going to be constant along that characteristic z of s, okay, so that means it is constant function of s. Z is a constant function of s, okay, hence for each point u comma t x comma t, u is constant on the line through x comma t, okay, on the line x comma t with the direction is x plus b comma 1 belongs to r power n plus 1, okay, that is the direction. So now let's come to that this Cauchy data. So this is going to be constant, okay, u of x plus sb comma t plus s is going to be some constant we are going to get to, okay. So now we say that the line parametrically represented by x plus sb through this one, okay, where it is going to intersect, okay, this line where it is going to intersect the Cauchy data, means the initial data where it is going to intersect. So when this will become 0, when I substitute, so I just want to make this as 0, okay, so that I can just get something in terms of this one. So I want to make this second coefficient as 0. So in that case, what you can say is that you can see that if I put s equal to minus t, okay, if I put s equal to minus t, what this will become? This is going to become like z of minus t, okay, and this is going to become like u of x plus, this is going to be minus t, so x minus tb, okay, comma 0. But what is g of x comma 0? It is g of x, so that is going to be g of x minus t. Okay, that's what we covered. Okay, u of x minus tb comma 0. Okay, u of x minus tb comma 0 equal to g of x minus t. So u is constant. U is constant in this line. Okay, u is constant because z equal to c. So u is constant in this line. Therefore, by existence of uniqueness theorem, what you can say is that u of x comma t. Okay, u of x comma t is going to be u of x comma t. There is no 0 over there. Okay, g of x minus tb is there, so there is no 0 over there. U of x comma t is going to be g of, okay, u of x comma t is going to be g of x minus tb. Okay, there is no 0 there, g of x minus tb only. Okay, there is no 0 here. And so here, this is going to be the general solution. Okay, we have obtained that. Okay, now if g belongs to C1, suppose g belongs to C1, okay, then what we get is that we get a classical solution. We'll get a classical solution. If g does not belong to C1, then you will not get the C1 solution. You will not get a C1 solution. Means you will not get a classical solution in this case. So in this case, what we can say is that this is a weak solution. We are going to get a weak solution for 1. Okay, we are going to get a weak solution for 1. Now we just extend this idea for an inhomogeneous. So instead of 0, I am going to put bf here. So instead of this is same, dz by ds is almost, you are going to get the same thing. Only here instead of 0, you are going to get it like f. Okay, you are going to get it like f. Okay, where f is nothing but f of x plus sb comma t plus s is going to come. So this is going to be f of x plus sb, comma t plus s system. Fine. Now let us see what is u of xt minus g of x minus b. Okay. So what is u of xt minus g of x minus b? What is u of xt minus g of x minus bt? Okay. So what is u of x comma t here? If I substitute s equal to 0, then I will get this u of x comma t. So this is nothing but z of 0. Okay. Minus g of x minus bt, that already given us in that is z of minus t. Okay. G of x minus bt is nothing but u of x comma 0. So if you substitute t equal to minus s as s equal to minus t, you will get the z of minus t. So what is this one? This I can write it as, okay, this I can write it as integral minus t to 0, okay, dz by ds into ds. Okay, that I can write it as. But what is dz by ds? Dz by ds is nothing but minus t to 0 here. Okay, what is dz by ds? Dz by ds is f of x plus s d, comma t plus s into ds is going to come. Okay, this is nothing but my u of xt comma g of x minus bt is going to come. So this one, I'm just going to put some change of variable here. If I put the change of variable, this I can rewrite this as 0 to t, okay, 0 to t f of x plus s minus, okay, s minus t into b, okay, comma t plus comma yes, okay, comma yes into ds. So you can put proper change of variable here so that you will get this substitution. Okay, you put some change of variable here so that you get this one. Okay, so what you are going to get is that in this case u of x comma t is going to be g of x minus bt, okay, plus integral 0 to t f of x plus s minus t into b, comma s into ds. So if any problem is given, okay, if any problem of this form ut plus b dot du, okay, you don't need to worry about the dimension, okay, any problem, okay, any problem on n dimensional variable. If the problem is given like ut plus b dot du, then what you can say is that immediately you can write the answer. The answer is that u of xt equal to g of x minus bt integral 0 to t f of x plus s minus t d into s ds. Okay, if f is given, what you can see is that you can just simply integrate that and then you can substitute the answer, then you will get the answer. Okay, so this is the general solution which is going to solve this problem. Okay. Okay, so there is a plus sign missing here. U of xt is equal to g of x minus bt plus. Okay, the plus sign is missing there. So we'll just take it. I'll just correct it and then upload it. Okay, now in the same way, what we can derive is that we can derive one quasi-linear PDE which is called Parker's equation. Okay, instead of C, what we are going to do is that we are going to derive a Parker's equation which is obtained from a problem called traffic flow model. Okay, so in the traffic flow model, what we are going to see, so we are going to get an equation of this one. Okay, ut plus ux equal to 0. Okay, this is called implicit Parker's equation due to Bartman and Parker. Okay, these two mathematicians or physicists take out all. Let's see. So you have a signal. Okay, you have a traffic flow. Okay, you have a traffic which is going. Some cars are going. Okay, some cars are going here. Okay, some cars are going. So what we are trying to do is that we just this is there are some assumptions that this is a one-way line. Okay, there is no traffic coming from the other side. It's one-way line, and there is no overtaking. Means this car cannot go over here. So this is one-way traffic. Now what we are trying to do is that we are trying to see what is the traffic flow model for this one. Okay, so the traffic flow model is going to give some kind of Parker's equation which you will see. Okay, so now once again what I am going to do is that I am just going to denote rho of x comma t, where rho of x comma t is going to denote be the density of cars. Density of cars. Okay, density of cars in the position x. Okay, in x comma t or at x comma t. Okay, at x comma t, I'll just put x belongs to r and t belongs to t greater than g. Okay, then the total number of cars. Okay, so suppose I take an interval, let's say like a comma b I'm just taking, a comma b I'm just taking. So in that interval, what I'm going to see is what is the density of car in that interval. Then what I can do, as we did in the transport equation, same way. So I can write this as a comma b, a to b, rho of x comma t, okay, into dx. Okay, this is going to tell me the density of the cars in the interval a comma b. Okay, which are in the interval a comma b. Now this car is moving at the speed. Okay, each car may have some different speed. Okay, it is not going to be constant. If it is constant, you get some different equation. So it is going to move it different. Okay, denote the velocity of the car in x at time t. Okay, this is going to move it different. So what I'm going to denote is that I'm just going to denote another variable v of x comma t, which is denoting the velocity of cars. Okay, velocity of cars means this is the average velocity of the cars in that x at the present x. Okay, velocity of the cars in x at time t. Okay, velocity of cars in x comma t, x at time t. Okay, then how many cars will be moving in that place? Okay, at x comma t, how many cars will be moving at that place? The total, the number of cars that pass through the x at time t is going to be denoted as rho of x comma t into v of x comma t. Okay, so this is nothing but the number of cars at x comma t, at x comma t. Okay, now let's see the number of cars, the change of changes in that interval. Okay, in the interval, how much it is going to change. Okay, so what is the rate of change of the cars in that particular interval a comma b? So what is it going to become? So we already know that this is nothing but the density of the cars in that. So the rate of change of that, what is it going to be? That is going to be d by dt of integral a to b rho of x comma t into dx. Okay, equal to, so I'm just checking what is the change of the things. So this is nothing but what is the inflow here, what is the outflow here, what is the inflow here. That's the difference. Okay, the net flow is nothing but that one. So that is going to be rho of, okay, rho of, what I'm going to check is what is the difference between these two. So what I'm going to check, what is the thing. So rho of a comma t into v of a comma t minus rho of b comma t into v of b comma t. Okay, this is the change of the interval is going to have. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm just so this assumption is that, so we are making some necessary assumptions. Okay, what is the assumption? Like I'm just trying to bring this t by dt inside. Okay, and then I'm going to do some assumptions. So in that case, what I can write this, I can rewrite this equation as follows. Okay, what I can write is that I can write this equation as follows. Okay. I'm just going to integrate with respect to t1 to t2. Okay, t1 to t2 is some interval which I'm going to take. So if I just integrate this, this is going to be t1 to t2. Okay, this is going to be t1 to t2. Okay, I'm just bringing this d by dt inside, so that what it will become is it is going to be double integral. Okay, this is with respect to t1 to t2, and this is going to be a to b, and this is going to be inside. So I just make some assumption like continuity, etc. Okay, whatever what you have studied in your Pugliese theorem or etc. So dou by dou t of x comma t into dx is going to be integral t1 to t2. Okay, this I can write it as, okay, this I'm going to write it as dou by dou x minus dou by dou x. Okay, this is going to be a to b, dou by dou x of rho comma rho v. Okay, rho v. So this is I'm just integrating this to t. So this is going to be integral a to b. Okay, this is going to be rho v into dx dt. So this equation, so last equation, what I can do is that I can rewrite that equation in this way: d1 to d2. Okay, a to b. I can rewrite this as rho t. Okay, minus rho v of x into dx dt equal to 0. Okay, so see that t1 dt is an arbitrary interval, and a comma b is an arbitrary interval. So it is given that rho t minus rho vx dx dt is going to be 0 in an arbitrary interval. Therefore, using the theorems in integrations, what you can prove is that the integral itself is 0. Okay, means what is it going to become? Rho t minus rho v of x is becoming 0. Okay, that is going to become like 0. So this is the one thing which we have derived. Now we will see the physical interpretation of the things. Okay, so sorry, this is going to be plus. Okay, here it is minus, so it is going to come right side. So it is going to become rho t plus rho vx. Okay, not minus, it is going to be rho t plus rho vx equal to 0. Okay. So now this is arbitrary. A comma B, A1 D2 greater than 0 is arbitrary. A comma B is arbitrary. Therefore, we can't. Now we see like what is going to happen here. See, if you have the physical thing, when there is a night time, okay, there are only any traffic at all. So in that case, we go at a high speed. Okay, we just go like anything. Okay, we can just go like anything. So you can reach the maximum speed. So there is no cars. Okay, there are no cars. Nothing is there. No vehicles is there. What you can see is that the rho is going to be 0. Okay, the density is going to be 0, and you can go at a high speed, which is called as Vmax. Now, suppose there is a high density, okay, the rho is reached its maximum thing, okay, rho max, very congested traffic is there. Then in that case, you cannot move a bit of or inch also, you can't move it. So in that case, V becomes 0. So this one I'm just going to write it as a linear equation. What I'm going to denote is that V I'm going to write it as V of rho. V of rho is going to be V max into 1 minus rho by rho max. Okay, so here you can see that when rho equal to 0, this will become V max. Okay, V will become V max. When rho equal to rho max, this will become 1. Okay, that will become 0. V becomes 0. So that means it is going to satisfy this condition. Okay, so that is going to be satisfied. So this is the linear relation which I'm writing. Okay, where rho is nothing but rho is between 0 less than or equal to rho less than or equal to rho max. Okay, so this is the condition which I got. Now I can substitute this over my equation, this one. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to substitute over the equation which we derived here. So that is nothing but rho t, okay, minus plus rho. What is V? V is nothing but, so this is going to be here. Okay, V is nothing but V max, okay, into 1 minus rho by rho max of x equal to 0. Okay, with respect to x and okay, rho into V max 1 minus rho into rho max. So this is the one which we have to. Now we further assume that V max is going to be 1. So without loss of generator, I'm just going to assume that V max equal to 1. And I'm going to denote a new variable. New variable is u is equal to, okay, what I'm going to denote is u is equal to 1 minus 2 rho by rho max. Okay, this is my new variable I'm going to denote. Then what will happen? Let us see. Okay, what is ut? Ut is going to be, okay, ut is going to be minus 2 rho t by rho max. Okay, what you will get is that you will get rho max ut, okay, plus you are going to get ux into rho max. It's going to come 0. Therefore, what you will get is that you are going to get rho max you can divide. So what you will get is that you will get this ut plus ux equal to 0. Okay. So you can just give the initial conditions. So if you give the initial conditions like u of x comma 0 equal to 1 minus 2 rho naught by rho max, what you can see is that if rho naught equal to 0, if rho naught equal to 0, what you will get is that u naught equal to 1 you will get, and if rho naught equal to rho max, what you will see is that you will get minus 1. Okay, this is the initial conditions which we have. Okay, so we will see a simple problem. Okay, and then we will close this session. So what is the problem is that we have a similar equation. Okay, just substitute and then derive this equation. We will just get that. If I make any mistakes, let me know. I hope I have covered enough things. So now we'll see a simple problem. Okay, ux plus uy equal to half. Okay, ux plus uy equal to half. Okay, so in this case we'll see with some initial conditions. The initial condition is that the gamma curve is given as x equal to s. Okay, x equal to s, y equal to s, and u is equal to s by 4. S by 4. Okay, so this is the thing scheme. Now, first what we need to check the transversality condition. So, what is the transversality condition is saying? T of s is nothing but dx naught by ds into b minus dy naught by ds into a. Okay, so this is nothing but what is dx naught by ds? That is going to be 1. What is b here? B is nothing but 1 here. Okay, sorry, b is 1 here. Okay, and what is dy naught by ds? Dy naught by ds is 1 here. And what is a? A is nothing but u is nothing but s by 4. Okay, so therefore this is 1 minus s by 4, which is not equal to 0. if s not equal to 4. Okay, that means it is not simultaneously 0. Okay, therefore you are getting the transversality condition satisfied. So you can find the solution for this problem. So what is the characteristic equation? The characteristic equation is as follows. So dx by dt equal to u. Okay, dy by dt equal to 1 and du by dt equal to half. Okay, so now I can solve this problem, or I can just write it as dy by dy by dt itself. Okay, so now what we have is that dy by dt equal to 1. Okay, dy by dt equal to 1 means dy by dt equal to 1 implies that dy equal to y equal to t plus some constant, t plus some constant is going to come, but it is given that, okay, what is given that initial curve is given that. So this is nothing but x of s comma 0. Okay, this is nothing but x of s comma 0, and this is nothing but y of s comma 0, and this is nothing but u of s comma 0. Okay, so this is the initial condition for this system. So this becomes y of s comma 0. If I substitute, this is going to become like y of t plus. Okay, so I'm just substituting t equal to 0 here. So this will become like, this will become 0. This will become like c, and this is nothing but y is nothing but s. Okay, so this is nothing but s here. Therefore, what you get is that c equal to s. Therefore, this will become like y equal to t plus s. Okay. Okay, one thing is done. Now dx by du by dt, we will go for du by dt. Du by dt is going to be half. Okay, therefore u is equal to half t. Okay, t by 2 plus some constant will come. Let's say c1. Okay. Now again you go to substitute that whatever we have there. So what will happen when t equal to 0? This will become like c1 is equal to, okay, c1 is equal to s by 4 will come. Therefore your u is nothing but, okay, u is nothing but t by 2 plus s by 4. Okay, u is nothing but t by 2 plus s by 4. Now what is dx by dt? Dx by dt is going to be u, but u already we found. So this is nothing but t by 2 plus s by 4. Okay, therefore x is nothing but t square. Okay, t square by t square by 4 plus st by 4. Okay, plus some constant will come. Let's say c2. Okay, now again substitute it over here. When t equal to 0, these two terms will become 0. So c2 is going to become like yes. Okay, so what you will get is that you will get something like this is going to become like the c2, and this is going to replace this as yes. Okay, so this is the characteristic. This is the solution which we got. Okay, the characteristic what do we call this? Okay, it is obtained. Now, so what we got is that we got x comma s comma t. Okay, x is nothing but t square by 4 plus st by 4 plus s, and y is nothing but t plus s, and u is nothing but t by 2 plus s by 2. Now you solve these two equations. Okay, x equal to t square by 4 plus st by 4 plus s, and y equal to ts. Okay, then what you will get is that you will get s equal to 4x minus y square divided by 4 minus 5. And similarly, if you solve for t, you will get that 4 into y minus x. Okay, this is some school mathematics you can do. And then you substitute it over here. Okay, then what you will get is that you will get that last equation. So with this, I start this today's lesson. Tomorrow we'll see what is rare fractions and solve this. Okay, thank you.